Welcome to Chief's Shop and to Hey Chief, where I answer your questions about my projects and woodworking in general. Today I've got a couple of questions that are tool related. First one being about table saws, and the next one being about pocket hole joinery, which is a question I'm asked about, or the topic I'm asked about most often than anything else. I'll start off with the table saw. I'm ready to graduate to a table saw for my circular saw and miter box. Any suggestions? Well, I always like to tell people that to step up to what you can afford, and for most people, if they're going from handheld power tools up to the next step, they're going to go to benchtop. So this is a benchtop table saw. This is one I've had for more than 10 years. It was a trusty companion, as the name says, for a while, and I made a lot of great projects with it, but I needed to step up with power. The bench tops are good for small projects. If you need to cut things that are thicker than 1x, you're going to have trouble. It will bog down in that, so that's when you need to step up to something like a contractor saw or job site saw. These will run the gamut on prices from just $80 on sale up to maybe $150. Good beginner level type saw. Try to get a good one, a good brand name. This was one I picked up at Sears. It wasn't obviously not a Craftsman brand, but it was made by Sears, as it said. So it was one that I, kind of picked up real quick. Now, if money's not an object, which for most people nowadays that's not the issue, but if you wanted to go a step beyond the bench top and but not go into the realm of a high-end carpentry shop saw, then a job site saw or contractor saw would be your next step. I really like the Porter cable job site saw. It's on wheels, with basically like a little cart. You can wheel it around. It's got a decent drive in it. That's good. I've seen a lot of people say that they've got some good success with that. The Bosch job site saw, I think everyone that has that loves it. And of course, those two are brands you're going to get at Lowe's, at Home Depot. There's the rigid saws. So as many saws out there, there are opinions about them. So I will say what I know and what I've experienced with those brands. I personally have a Hitachi contractor saw that I've had now for going on 7 or 8 years now, and I really like it, and it's been great for me. But graduating up from a circular saw up to a table saw, maybe the first step would be the bench top. And look at garage sales or talk to other woodworkers that are getting ready to upgrade or just have extra equipment around, and see what they've got and see if they'll either sell it to you for cheap or give it to you, as a matter of fact. But I've held on to this one because I keep it for cutting treated plywood, and if I need to take it off-site somewhere and do real quick cuts, I have it for that purpose. Not like I like to hoard or anything, but it's a good secondary tool to have, and God forbid something were to happen to my main saw, this can be a backup too as well. All right, next question is regarding pocket hole joinery, and it's kind of a confusion I think that a lot of beginners have with pocket hole joinery. But there's a project that one individual has selected to start as their first Craig project, which is great. It's one of mine. It's the toy box stool, and as you see on the screen here. And so this person says, I've chosen this to be my first real Craig project. I've never really used mine much. I see in the instructions that all the pocket holes are laid out and drilled. Do you not do this while the pieces are together to make the pilot holes? Any info would be greatly appreciated. And this is where I talk about there's some confusion. I think everyone understands pilot holes are drilled from one part into the mating part, so that when the fastener, the screw, goes through one part into the next part, let's say we've got them like this, the pilot hole is already drilled through into this second part here, goes through, connects, all right, joins together. Well, the pocket hole joinery, you're not doing that. You're drilling a hole on the face of the board, and it's stopped to a point. Stops just before breaking through the end. when you're joining the boards, obviously you've got them clamped together, and then you drill through the pocket hole on the part that's being joined. The screw itself, which is self-tapping screws, drives through this board into the mating board and then secures itself there. So you don't need to have a pilot hole that's going through one board into the other. And when you drill through the wood, you're going to obviously have, here's your exit hole where it's come out. This is a little test piece I've used. So there's the confusion there. So when you see the project parts in my plans where the holes are already laid out, you're drilling those before you get down to actually joining the parts. So there's no need to have a pilot hole that goes all the way through into the next part. And I've done a really good little basics on pocket hole joinery on my my Howes page, which I'm putting the link up here. You can go and read that, and that's just the good basics, kind of the elements of it, and there's some good images there too to show you how the pocket hole goes through the wood there, and then you can see where it stopped and how it joins from there going through. There's another image where there's a screw that's actually in the hole going through, and you see how far it goes into the mating part. Well, I hope you found this helpful. And for more tips and woodworking plans, I recommend you go to my website. If you have any questions, this is what this is for, Hey Chief. So please send me your questions. You can email them to me. You can post them on my blog. You can post them in the comment section of this video, and I'll be sure to answer them as soon as I can. And like I always like to say at the end of these videos, time to get off the computer and get out in the shop and make some sawdust.